Ooh, sorry. Excuse me.
And we are live.
Ooh. I don't know if that made it on air or
Yeah, I don't know if that made it on either, but
Ooh.
hello everyone. We'll be starting the podcast on the Matthew McConaughey films. The reason why we're doing this is because a new film is coming out this Friday called The Dark Tower. Now, Matthew McConaughey is not the main actor. The main actor of that film is Idris Elba. Idris Elba is a great actor, but the thing is, he doesn't have a lot of movies with him as the lead role. He's always in like the supporting role. So,
that one definitely made it on there.
We thought it'd be better to do the Matthew McConaughey podcast since he has a lot of movies. And yeah, joining me in this podcast is two other people. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
All right. My name is Andrew. As you guys know, I like Matthew McConaughey. He's cool. Reddit here.
All right. And would the other guests like to introduce themselves?
Yes, I would. Hello, everybody. I am, as always, Nick Canino, and as always for the newcomers, I'm a movie reviewer. I just love movies, and I do a lot of podcasts. So, yeah, and I'm happy to be on. I'm very excited and happy to be on Diego's podcast once again.
All right, yeah, I'm glad to have you back on. That's for sure. All right,
yeah.
So like I said, we're going to be doing the top 5 Matthew McConaughey films. Now, usually, if you've been watching my podcast since I've started, you know that I barely do honorable mentions. But today, since I really like Matthew McConaughey, I do have honorable mentions. So before we do our top 5, if you guys have honorable mentions as well, you guys can do them too. So I'll start. Okay, so here are a few films that didn't make the list, and I feel bad they didn't make the list, but I'll just say them anyway. Okay, I'm going to mention this movie, The Wolf of Wall Street. The reason why this movie's not on the list is because Matthew McConaughey is only in it for like 8 minutes the most. And let me just say this, had he been in the movie way longer, Wolf of Wall Street would be my number 1 because that's like one of my favorite movies of all time. But I'm not going to put it on the list because I don't think it's fair because he's only in it for a very short time. Another film that didn't make my list, this might surprise you guys, but Dazed & Confused. I really liked it. Yeah, I know. It's just not on my list. Yeah, I know. It's shocking. Another film, this is one of the most underrated films of the decade for me. That is Killer Joe. I really like this movie. Now, this is a movie that is polarizing because it has very strong content. And it is a fucked up movie, I'm not going to lie, but I really loved it. And Matthew McConaughey, I think, delivers one of his best performances. A very underrated performance and a very underrated movie. And I'm going to mention this. This is not a movie, and this is a movie podcast, I know, but I have to mention this, and that is True Detective Season 1. That is a masterpiece. Oh, my God. That is one of the greatest things ever. And you really need to see it. It's with Matthew McConaughey and with Woody Harrelson. It's an 8-episode TV show. Oh, my God. It's unlike anything you've ever seen. I highly recommend it. I know it's a movie podcast, but Matthew McConaughey's in it. One of his best performances in it, and it is phenomenal. And there is one movie, The Lincoln Lawyer. I haven't seen it. I know people say that's one of his best, so I haven't seen it, unfortunately, but I guess I'll just mention it because apparently it's one of his best, so. All right. All right, Nick, do you have any honorable mentions?
Okay, let me just say that Matthew McConaughey has been in a lot of movies. Like some of them are bad, but then most of them turn out to be really good. This was one of the hardest lists I've ever had to make.
Yeah.
In Diego's podcast, so I only have like I have like 6 honorable mentions. I originally had 5, but I actually have 6.
Okay.
My first one is the only good film from this director, Mick G. We Are Marshall.
Oh, okay.
Solid.
It's a good film.
Yeah, I haven't seen
it.
Oh.
It's not perfect. It does have flaws here and there, but I really enjoyed We Are Marshall for what it was.
All right.
And then next up, this might surprise a lot of people because like I have the same honorable mention as Diego. The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, like I said, the reason why it's not on my list is because he's only in it for a very short time. That's why he's not on mine.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. But he was terrific, though. I will say that.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
I still cannot get over that.
Yeah.
And then next, this might surprise a lot of people because I love this director. He's up there with Nolan Scorsese's being one of my favorite filmmakers. I'm actually surprised myself that this is not higher on my list. But he's in it, and I'm Amistad.
Yes, I have seen that. That is very good. Yes, really good movie.
Yeah, and then I also have Killer Joe as one of my honorable mentions.
Thank you. Yes, that's really good.
I mean, I've seen some fucked up stuff in my life, but this is definitely one of the most fucked up things I've seen.
It's also from the director of The Exorcist.
Nice.
And he did a terrific job with that.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
That was a good baby.
Yeah, and ironically, this movie was one of the movies where it got the NC-17 rating.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This was the only NC-17 film that I reviewed in 2012.
Yeah, and it deserved that NC-17 rating because it pushed like major boundaries in it.
Yeah, I mean, I knew what I was getting into as I was watching this film, but man, oh man. And then my last honorable mention is an animated film. It was one of my favorite movies of last year, and it was my second favorite animated film of 2016 behind Zootopia, Kubo and the Two Strings.
Nice.
I feel like I'm the only one who liked Kubo the best out of the three big fucking.
No, you're not. I know there are people out there who do. Austin Putnam, I know that was like an animated film.
I mean, I love all three of them. Don't get me wrong; they were all in my top. They were all in my top 15.
Moana, Kubo, all masterpieces of animation.
Yeah, they were all in my top 15. So
yeah, that's totally understandable. I mean, I personally think Zootopia is the best animated film of the year of last year. But if people like Kubo is the best animated film of the year, that's totally fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it is a masterpiece. Like, I mean, especially with how they crafted how they did the stop motion animation thing. That was incredible. Yeah.
All right, Andrew, do you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, I got only two.
Okay.
The first one is Magic Mike.
I haven't seen that either. Oh my god.
It was a really good. I mean, it's Channing Tatum's movie, but still Matthew McConaughey is really good in it. And the second one is very much Matthew McConaughey's movie. That's Dallas Buyers Club. It barely missed it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So without any further ado, let's get started. And this is how we'll go. I'll go first. Nick, you can go second. Andrew, you can go last. And as always, if you have the same, if your number 5 is my number 5, and so on, just join in the conversation.
You know what they say: first is the worst, second is the best, third is the most handsome.
Sure. Okay. All right. Number 5. Now, number 5 is one of Matthew McConaughey's earlier films. This film came out in 1996, and that movie is A Time to Kill.
Nice.
A Time to Kill, for me, is very underrated. Why? Because I feel like no one ever talks about it, especially when they talk about Matthew McConaughey films. This is a film that has an all-star cast. It stars Matthew McConaughey, Samuel L. Jackson, Kevin Spacey, Sandra Bullock, Donald Sutherland, his son, Kiefer Sutherland. Wow, this is a great movie. The only problem I have with it is in the middle, it does drag a little bit. But other than that, this is a really, really terrific film. What it's about is basically what happens is 2 white supremacists, they rape a 10-year-old African-American girl. Now, her father, played by Samuel L. Jackson, kills the 2 people, and there's a trial, whether he should be sent in jail or to the death penalty and all that kind of stuff. And Matthew McConaughey is the lawyer. And the KKK starts this uprising. It starts terrorizing people who are involved with the case and all that kind of stuff. And man, this movie is so emotionally I got to tell you, there were some scenes where I was really pissed off because the actors really portrayed, being racist really well to the point where it was like disgusting. And also, there were scenes where like the judge who was very biased, and there was some scenes I was like, damn, fuck you, like I hate you for this and that. And also, I just want to give out a big motherfucking fuck you to the Razzies for nominating this movie for worst screenplay of the year. I mean, what the hell?
The Razzies are worse than the Oscars. I swear.
Yeah, they're more biased than the Oscars. And because this movie was controversial at the time because they thought this movie condoned murder, how like it was for murder and stuff. And I'm like, whatever.
I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna make my own award show, and it's gonna fucking rightfully fucking.
It also received
no awards to people.
It also received no Academy Award nominations either. So, but the best scene in the movie for me is it's towards the end when Matthew McConaughey tries to persuade the jury why they should let Samuel L. Jackson go. That scene is powerful. Wow. And there are a lot of scenes that are powerful. This is a really good movie. Like I said, this is underrated. And guess who directed this movie? Joel Schumacher, the same guy who did Batman and Robin. He directed the film. And it was really good. So I highly recommend it. To me, it's one of Matthew McConaughey's best. That is why it is my number 5. Okay, Nick Canino, what is your number 5?
That's kind of ironic, actually, that a Joel Schumacher film is like the 5th best Matthew McConaughey film.
Yeah,
but
right?
I will see that. I will see that eventually.
Okay, yeah, really good movie.
I will see that eventually. I haven't seen it. I know. Just okay. My number 5 is a Christopher Nolan film, and it was one of my favorite movies of 2014.
Interstellar?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
I love this movie. I know a lot of people were split on this movie. Like some said it was one of the best movies of the year, and some said it was just okay, and some even hated. To me, I was on one of the best movies of the year side.
It is a fantastic movie.
Yeah. It is fantastic. I personally loved it. It had an interesting story. The script was fantastic. The direction by Christopher Nolan was absolutely phenomenal. Plus, the acting is fantastic. As always, Matthew McConaughey is absolutely terrific in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Not to mention, you also got Halfway in this movie. She's also terrific.
Definitely.
Yeah.
and you also got in this movie Jessica Chastain. She's also fantastic.
Oh yeah.
As well as Michael Caine. He's also fantastic. I mean, everybody gave out a fantastic performance.
Everyone was really
good. The score by Hans Zimmer was phenomenal. It's one of the best musical scores I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I mean, it's Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer, to me, is the best music composer for film there is today.
I definitely agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not to mention, it's beautifully shot. Its editing, is fantastic. Its pacing is fantastic. And its visuals. Oh my God, the visual effects were mind-blowing.
Stunning.
Yeah, it rightfully deserved the Oscar for best visual effects. That's for sure.
I definitely agree. It was the best visual effects I've seen in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just it was absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, it was one of the most mind-blowing experiences I've had watching a film.
Yeah.
Yeah. So overall, Interstellar, I love this film. It's one of the best science fiction films I've seen this decade. It's one of Christopher Nolan's best, I would say, and it features a fantastic performance by Matthew McConaughey, and Halfway, Jessica Chastain, Michael Caine, and all the others.
Matt Damon is great.
Matt Damon.
Yeah, Matt Damon.
All right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to pull that.
No, it's fine. All right, Andrew.
That's why Interstellar is my number 5.
Awesome. All right, Andrew. What is your number 5?
All right, it's a movie that Diego actually had it on his honorable mentions, and it is Dazed and Confused. It's directed by Richard Linklater, and I'm not the biggest fan of him, but man, do I absolutely fucking love this film. It was fun. The pacing was great, and just I love the characters. Ben Affleck is such a fucking dick in the movie.
Yeah.
Like I hated his character, but like that shows how great the performance was. And Matthew McConaughey, man, he was kind of a creeper, but like he was kind of really cool at the same time, you know.
I love the quote. I love the quote in the movie where he's like, "That's the thing, man."
That's the thing about freshmen. The thing about freshmen is, I get older and they say the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I just really like it. It's a nice coming of age movie about it's last day of school and whatnot, and the seniors are trying to fucking haze the freshmen. You know.
Yeah.
It was just a thing to do back in the day. And the one freshman, his sister is a senior now, and you know he gets it like real bad, and then he befriends the one senior, and just I really like that. It's I like the relationship that the one freshman has with the one senior and whatnot. Yeah. It's really nice, and it just I like the characters and just the characters, the writing. It's a very funny movie, and Matthew McConaughey is not in it for that long. That's why it's kind of really low on my list. But anyway, yeah, no, Dazed and Confused is my number 5.
Okay, awesome. All right, that was our number 5. Now we're on to number 4. Okay, my number 4 is a film. I imagine you guys probably have it way higher on your list. I still love the film. My number 4 is Mud.
Ooh.
Mud's a great film.
It is.
For sure. And it's easily one of Matthew McConaughey's best performances. And not just him, but the 2 kids in the movie. I thought they were fantastic.
Yeah, Ty Sheridan is great.
Yeah, thank you.
He's fantastic in the film. And believe it or not, it was directed by Jeff Nichols.
Yeah. It was. Jeff Nichols is the one who directed it. I also love the relationship they had in the movie. You know, Matthew McConaughey and the 2 kids. I thought it was a really good drama. I mean, yes, it is slow paced, but I thought the pacing was honestly perfect for the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
And also, I also found this film, I don't know how you guys feel, but I found the film to also be pretty unpredictable. Like, I couldn't predict what was going to happen next. And then when the third act happens, I was like, holy crap. Like, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that... what's his face was in the movie? He just recently passed away. Fuck, I can't think of his name.
I can't really say much about the plot because honestly, here's how I saw it. I didn't know much about it when I went in, and I think that made the movie experience better for me because the less I knew, you know, going in, it made the movie more impactful for me. Because then I started to, you know, I was more engaged in the story, and I was like, oh man, what's gonna happen next, and who's this character, and who's that?
Sam Shepard. That's his name.
Yeah, Sam Shepard. And there's a lot. I mean, it sounds like a very simple story. You know, Matthew McConaughey, he's a criminal, and he meets the kids. They form a relationship, but there's way more under the surface than that. But Mud's a terrific film, one of the best films of 2013. Same year Wolf of Wall Street came out, and
Dallas Buyers Club. It was a great year for McConaughey that year.
Yeah,
it was a great year for him.
And True Detective came out that year, I believe. Didn't it?
Yeah, actually, I think it did. Wow, that was
a fantastic year. That was a fantastic year for McConaughey, man.
He was the MVP of that year. No, but seriously, Mud is terrific. A great film. I know it's only my number 4, but I love it. And yeah, I didn't really say much because I think if you have not seen the film, you should see it with knowing as less as possible because I really think that's going to make the movie a whole lot better for you. But one of Matthew McConaughey's best performances, a great movie in general. Mud is my number 4. Okay, Nick Canino, what is your number 4?
All right. My number 4. This director, that Matthew McConaughey teamed up, is going to be appearing, 2 times on my list actually. Richard Linklater.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm mentioning one of his films. Number 4 was one of the most underappreciated films I saw in. Well, actually, it was actually the most underappreciated film I saw in 2012, and it was one of my favorites of that year. Bernie.
Bernie. Oh, Bernie. I haven't seen that. That's with Jack Black, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, and he's absolutely terrific in the film, and so is Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, I heard about that. That film was like nowhere near my area though. Like I wanted to see it, but no theaters near me was like playing it, so I didn't get to see it.
It was on Netflix. It was on Netflix for the longest time. I don't know if it still is. It was on my list. I'm like fucking things to watch, but I just never got around to it.
Never got around to it.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, and in case you guys don't know what Bernie is, it's based on the 1998 Texas Monthly article, and the 1996 murder that chronicles the 1996 murder of an 80-year-old millionaire named Marjorie Nugent in Texas, and her 39-year-old companion Bernie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is one of those films where, yes, I just explained what the movie's about, but I don't know why I did that. This is one of those films where you should probably see it with an open mind, because it's not knowing what the film was about. When I first saw it, it was just one of the most incredible experiences I've had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It had a fantastic story, great script, great direction, great acting. I mentioned Jack Black; he's fantastic, and Matthew McConaughey is also fantastic in this movie. It had a fantastic soundtrack. The cinematography was fantastic. Everything in this movie was fantastic, including the pacing and editing. And the ending was one of the most mind-blowing things I've seen.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely watch it then sometime.
It is.
Okay.
It is no longer on Netflix.
Okay, well, not.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say mind blowing, but it was a really good. It was a great ending, I should say.
Actually, Sammy's on the live chat. He also said he hasn't seen the film either. I wonder if anyone else is watching.
I do.
So.
I do highly recommend it. For those who haven't seen it.
Okay.
And plus, it's by Millennium Films. A company which I just cannot stand. Because the company has been producing nothing but some pretty schlocky films like Texas Chainsaw 3D and
oh god,
The Legend of Hercules, The Big Wedding, and oh god. Yeah, but this was the only Millennium Films I had on my best of the year list.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah, then I'll check it out then, eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if you haven't seen Bernie, I do recommend checking it out. This was I would say it's my most underappreciated film of 2012, and I have to say it's also one of the most underappreciated films of the decade. So
I'm gonna definitely.
Yeah, I recommend. Definitely check out Bernie. It's a wonderful film, and that's why it's my number 4.
All right. Okay, Andrew, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is Interstellar.
Nice.
It is. I mean, I don't really know what to say that Nick hasn't said already, but it is truly an incredible film. Matthew McConaughey's performance is great. And actually, the first time I watched this, I know I said it in our Christopher Nolan podcast, but I had just, like, that day, me and Diego actually went to go see the midnight release, and that day, I had some of my wisdom teeth pulled. So I was fucking high off my mind seeing that movie, and it was honestly one of the best movie-going experiences of my life. But You know, I did revisit it again, and it does get better and better each time I watch it. And even though it's like almost 3 hours, it's like very close to 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's very, very goes by very quickly. I did rewatch it for the Christopher Nolan podcast. I did rewatch it, and I was amazed how fast time flew by because I was just so invested into the story and so invested into the characters. And a scene that always fucking like just gets me is when he's about to leave and and Murph is like, "Oh, are you gonna be back?" And he's like, "I don't know," but it's truly amazing film. If you haven't seen it, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. But it honestly, it's very, very good.
All right, awesome. Okay, so that was our number 4. Now we're on to number 3. Okay, number 3 is a film Nick had in his honorable mentions, and that is Kubo and the Two Strings.
That is also my number 3.
Oh, look at that. Okay, so this movie was on last week's podcast when I talked about Charlize Theron, my best Charlize Theron films. I think it was my number 2 of that podcast.
It was also my number 2.
Yeah, so I guess we're just going to sound repetitive in what we're saying, so I'll just go over this really quick. This is a beautiful movie, not just in terms of how the animation looks, but in its storytelling and how beautiful how beautiful the storytelling is and how I was so invested in the characters and whatnot. It's an original film. It's unique. The action scenes are awesome. Matthew McConaughey as the Beetle, I thought he was great. But like I said, I think Charlize Theron was personally my favorite character. But if someone were to say Matthew McConaughey was their favorite character, I couldn't argue because he was terrific as well. And so was Kubo.
All the characters are terrific.
Yeah, all the characters are terrific.
They were.
Yeah, and it's also a pretty emotional film too. And the plot twist is actually pretty cool, I thought. Also, the villains who played the sisters, I thought they were pretty frightening.
They are pretty frightening. And I was, what was it? We were, well, you were 20, but I was 19 when I saw it. And I really don't get scared by like movies anymore. But yo, dude, like that was pretty creepy, bro.
Yeah, it definitely was. And yeah, it is a truly wonderful film. I mean, if you haven't seen it, please see it because this is
on Netflix. This I know for a fact is on Netflix.
Yes, I do. Yes, it is on Netflix. And also, this was one of the biggest, unfortunately, one of the biggest box office flops of last year. And it's a shame because it's a really great movie. So if you haven't seen it, because I know a lot of people haven't seen it because they'd rather see Transformers and Emoji Movie and stuff, just go watch
and the Angry Birds movie over this. Just
Oh yeah, a lot more people saw Angry Birds over this movie.
Yeah, and it's such a shame that like original films like Kubo and the Two Strings and The Nice Guys bomb, while movies that are just like cash grabs just all of a sudden make a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a sequel of Bad Moms. What does that tell you?
Oh my god!
Yeah, but God fucking knows we're never gonna get a fucking sequel to The Nice Guys because, you know, fuck me, right?
Yeah. All right. Do you have anything to add to Kubo and the Two Strings? Because I think I don't want to sound repetitive in like last week.
I don't know if I told this story last week, but fuck it, I'm gonna tell it again here, even if I did. So sorry if I said this last week. But I remember seeing the trailer and go, oh, this is kind of, I guess, this is kind of cool. And I was kind of unsure if we were going to see it. And I remember me and Diego, this is another movie me and Diego saw together. I believe we saw it on like a Saturday. My parents weren't home. And we were just like, fuck it, let's go see it. We got nothing to do.
Yeah.
So, and by the end of it, he asked me, yo, did you have any problems with this movie? And I remember, no, this like movie was amazing. Like this movie completely blew me away. Yeah. It was honestly one of the most surprising movies of last year.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be that good.
Yeah, I thought what I expected. I thought it was gonna be. I was gonna like it and just enjoy it, but I ended up loving it and be like, yo, dude, I like. This could be on my top 10. It did end up being on my top 10, but like the running joke after we saw Zootopia was, nothing's gonna beat Zootopia. Like, I'm not gonna like any animated movie better than Zootopia. Like, Zootopia is like a shoo-in for the Oscar, which it ended up winning. But like, I'm like, so nothing's gonna be better. No animated movie is gonna be better than Zootopia. And then all of a sudden, I see Kubo, and I didn't realize it at the time, but like a couple like after a while, I go, holy shit, I fucking like this better than Zootopia.
Yeah.
Like this is truly an amazing film. I love it to pieces. And we did really talk about it. We did talk about it last week, so I'm trying to like say stuff without not being repetitive. And it's just an amazing film. Please, if you have Netflix, please go see it. I know there's a couple people I suggested it to that didn't really like it, found it kind of boring, but you know what? Fuck it.
How was it boring?
I don't know. Don't ask me.
I'm sorry, like I get everyone has their own,
yeah,
but I was never bored for a second. I was like so invested in the adventure, and then like something was always happening.
Yeah, I love this movie. Like you said, the sisters were creepy as fuck. And the villain, I thought the villain was really good, like the main villain.
Mm-hmm. And it was great action scenes as well. Yeah,
and who the McConaughey and Charlie Theron ended up being, I thought that was a really nice like twist. And
to add on, probably Leica's best film.
Yeah, and yes. I know I said this last week, but like I have a soft spot for
stop motion
animated movies because I know how hard they could be. I know for a fact I can't fucking do them. Yeah. So I really fucking appreciate it. Like, even if the movie's bad, if the stop motion is good, I'll fucking appreciate at least that.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate it. And I like, honestly, when I'm very fucking happy this got nominated for Best Visual Effects because they were truly amazing.
Oh yeah, definitely. It deserved that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's one of my favorite, and well, it is one of my favorite animated movies, but I don't know how like far up the list it is. But like I love this film to pieces.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Nick Canino, what is your number 3?
Before we get to my number 3, the part where Kubo and the Two Strings got Best Visual Effects nomination was actually the biggest surprise nomination for me.
I didn't expect it to get a nomination
because
I'm not gonna lie.
I had a kind of not the saying that I knew was gonna happen, but there was something telling me that there was a very good chance it could get it.
Yeah.
And once again, really quick before I move on to my number 3, I was a little worried that it wasn't going to get enough recognition, because of how much it didn't make a lot of money, which it still bums me out.
Yeah. It very much bugs me, man. Yeah, especially see, the thing about The Nice Guys and Kubo is those are both movies I love. They were both in my top 10. I don't know where Kubo was, but The Nice Guys was my number 2 of the year. And I absolutely loved them. I loved how original they were. And then I fucking find out that they make fucking nothing. I get pissed. And then those same fucking people that didn't go see the fucking movie are fucking complaining that, oh, we don't get any original movies. Oh, why is there more Transformers? Why are everything like a sequel or a remake or a prequel? Like, what the fuck? Well, how about you go see fucking movies like The Nice Guys or fucking Kubo and the Two Strings, because then it will encourage fucking filmmakers to fucking go out and fucking make more original filmmaking. Thank God fucking Baby Driver's making fucking money, because that is a fucking amazing film. Guess what? It's fucking original.
Uh-huh.
It is original.
Yeah.
Fucking ran over.
It's my number 2 film of the year so far, behind Dunkirk.
Yeah, Dunkirk is my number 1, and Baby Driver is my number 3. Yeah, 3.
Like we could have fucking things like well, we could have fucking things, prequels, remakes, shit like that. But fucking like, if you want more original filmmaking, then go see the fucking original movies. Like, I'm the type of person that fucking I'll see fucking everything just because.
Yeah.
Because I just want that knowledge and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love film that much. I don't like personally, I don't really have a favorite genre.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just it bugs me that the people who aren't seeing these original movies are fucking complaining that we don't have enough of them. But yet they're going to see fucking Transformers 5. Or fucking, or they're going to go see the fucking Emoji Movie or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Or Fate of the Furious. Like.
Yeah, well, Fate of the Furious is one of the films that made $1 billion over.
Yeah, like Furious 7 or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, Furious 7.
I liked it. I didn't love it. But it really fucking bugged me that made $1 billion. And no disrespect to Paul Walker. I really like Paul Walker. Fucking, it sucks what happened to him. But you can't call this the greatest fucking movie of all time because one fucking guy died and this is the last fucking movie he's ever going to be in.
Yeah. Where did Nick Canino go?
Honestly, I've been so invested into this rant, I didn't fucking see where the fuck he went.
Yeah.
I guess he fucking gets back.
All right,
he's back. So.
Yeah. Hey, Nick.
You there?
Yeah. We're here.
Yeah, I think isn't Furious 7 the first movie to make over, or in that franchise to make over $1 billion?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, it pisses me off because one person died, and like I said, no disrespect to Paul Walker. Fucking that everybody goes out to see this movie because one fucking person died.
And now we're getting like 10 or like
whatever. And now that was supposed to be the last one. That should have been the last one, to be fucking honest. And Fate of the Furious was fine. Like I enjoyed it. It was fun. It's just that series needs to end, and yet they're not seeing these original movies, but they'll go see fucking every Fast and Furious movie, every fucking Transformers movie.
Yeah. All right, Nick. What is your number 3?
All right. My number 3, and our apologies by the way that we went on a little bit too long for franchises versus original films rant. It's just we needed to get it off our chest.
Yeah, I'll cool down.
All right. For as I said, we're gonna save our rant for our worst.
Yeah.
Anyway, for real this time, for real. My number 3 is the second and last Richard Linklater film you'll see on my list.
Dazed and Confused.
Yes. Again, I do apologize for the mispronunciation. It's just stuttering.
When you said Dazed and Confused, your audio went out for a little bit. So, but I heard you say confused, so that's why I was like, oh, Dazed and Confused.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Who are we to judge?
Dazed and Confused. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite Richard Linklater films. I would say it's one of my top 3 favorites. I don't know which one's my favorite Richard Linklater film, but it's definitely one of my favorites. For sure. It again, you guys you guys pretty much said it. It's I'm not sure. Oh yeah, Anderson. I'm sorry. It's funny. It's. Oh my god. What kind of show are we running here?
Yeah.
It's funny. It was entertaining, and it's very relatable too, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
The performances were absolutely fantastic. Matthew McConaughey, even though he's not in it that much, which is why I didn't have it as like 2 or 1. He's fantastic in this movie, and the line that Andrew said, that was really, really funny.
Oh yeah.
The rest of the actors were great. This was the first film to introduce Mila Jovovich.
She was actually good in that movie too.
Exactly, and I'm not a fan of Mila Jovovich, but I can't deny that she was one of the best things about.
Yeah, she's one of the best things about the movie. I agree.
Yeah, and what was I going to say? say about this? Oh yeah. The rest of the actors were also fantastic. Including Ben Affleck. Just wow.
Yeah.
It had a fantastic soundtrack. It's one of my favorite soundtracks of all time.
Oh yeah, wonderful soundtrack. Yeah. Didn't it take place in what, the 70s or the 80s?
I think the 80s.
70s.
Oh, 70s? Okay, yeah, because the music was really good. Really good songs.
It was. I'm the guy that likes to listen to like rock music, and this was my cup of tea.
Oh yeah. Richard Linklater's, even though you can say what you want about his films, but he actually picks a soundtrack for his movies really well. Like the soundtracks for his movies really fit the tone.
Yeah.
What he tries to go for.
Yeah.
The tone for Dazed and Confused was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, it had a great story. It had a fantastic script and direction, both done by Richard Linklater. It's well shot. It's well paced. It's well edited, and it had some hilarious moments in it. As the humor is absolutely fantastic, and overall, and the characters were also very well developed, and some of them are just relatable, and that's what I loved about this movie.
All right. Awesome.
I bet you some people can relate to Ben Affleck in that movie.
Yeah. A lot of people.
What happens to him? What happens to him was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
That was funny,
Good for those friends.
Yeah, I love Dazed and Confused. It's one of my all-time favorite Richard Linklater films. I don't know if it's like one of my top 50 favorites, but it's definitely my 100 favorite films of all time list. For sure.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
It is a good film. I like it. It's really good.
I think it's a wonderful film that college kids and high school kids should really enjoy. And both Dazed and Confused is my third favorite Matthew McConaughey film.
All right, awesome. Okay, so that was our number 3. Now we're on to number 2. My number 2 was in Andrew's honorable mentions. That is Dallas Buyers Club. Dallas Buyers Club is probably the best performance Matthew McConaughey has given in his entire career. And the same can be said with Jared Leto. Because this is based on a true story. He got AIDS. Matthew McConaughey's character had AIDS. And Jared Leto was, I don't want to use the wrong term, because I don't want to offend some people. But what was he?
He's a transgender.
Transgender.
Not transgender.
Transsexual?
Transvestite.
Okay, yeah, transvestite.
Because that's when someone you ever see Ed Wood?
Yeah, no, I have not seen Ed Wood. No.
Oh well, but he's a transvestite. He's wearing women's clothing, so.
Okay, all right.
From my understanding, he's a transvestite.
Okay, all right.
I could be wrong, but I'm like 99% sure he's a transvestite.
Well, Jared Leto played that role of that character really well. They both won the Oscar, and they both rightfully deserve to win the Oscar, even though Leonardo DiCaprio for Wolf of Wall Street was my personal choice, but Matthew McConaughey was equally as brilliant in his performance.
That was a tough category that year.
Oh yeah,
it was really tough
year for main actors. Even Hugh Jackman for Prisoners and Michael B. Jordan for Fruitvale Station wasn't nominated, and yeah. But
even supporting actors were it was like a tough category too.
Yeah. And the movie, it has some comedy in it and a lot of drama, and it worked really well. It's a fascinating true story. And sometimes me and Andrew say this a lot. Whenever there's a movie that focuses on really mature themes and tough subject matter, it's one of those movies where you can only watch once and you can appreciate for how it is. I don't feel that way at Dallas Buyers Club. In fact, I think the movie's rewatchable, and I wanted to watch the movie more as it went along. And yeah, it's a terrific film. Like I said, it's based on a true story of this guy, and it's a fascinating true story, honestly. I mean, he was kind of a dick, but I think as the movie went along, he kind of changed. Yeah, it's a terrific film. If you haven't seen it, please do see it. Matthew McConaughey, to me, even though this isn't my favorite film of his, it's my favorite performance of his. And yeah,
I just like the like arc of his character and like the relationship between him, like how the relationship between him and Jared Leto start off and where it ends up. And
yeah, it's like Matthew McConaughey was like someone else in the beginning, and then
he was like he was a homophobe in the beginning. Like there's and then
like,
you know, like what I really like is how what he finds, because back then only like gay people got AIDS. Like
and it was believed that if you were the only way you could get AIDS if you were
and like the only two ways to get AIDS is if you believed if you were gay or if you shot up drugs. And they asked that in the film, and he was like, no, I ain't so fag.
Yeah,
and then just slurs. And like you see when he first meets Jared Leto, he's like, get the fuck away from me. But like how much he cared at the end of the film about Jared Leto, I think that's really amazing. Unfortunately, it didn't make it; it just missed it.
Yeah,
I this much, but it is a great film.
Oh yeah, incredible movie, honestly. Yeah, and also may I also add that Jennifer Garner as the nurse, she was actually really good too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's why Dallas Buyers Club is my number 2. And once again, if you haven't seen it, please see it. Okay, Nick Canino, what is your number 2 favorite Matthew McConaughey film?
My number 2 is a movie that you guys explained it, and it's higher on my list. And this was one of my favorite movies of 2013, and this movie featured Matthew McConaughey in 2 films. The other one, which you guys explained, which I'll get to when I get to my number 1. Spoilers, but who cares anyway? The other film that he was in, number 2, Mud.
Nice.
Mud was amazing. It was one of the most exhilarating experiences I've had watching a film in 2013.
I agree, 100%.
Directed by Jeff Nichols, who directed Tate Shelter, Loving, and Midnight Special. He's crafted one of the most mesmerizing and exhilarating films I would ever, that anyone would ever see. Like, for not just 2013, but for the entire decade.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
And also, I honestly didn't have any issues with the film. The story was absolutely interesting and fantastic. The script was fantastic. The direction Jeff Nichols took, that was also fantastic. And the acting was terrific. Matthew McConaughey absolutely shines in this movie.
Yeah, like I said, it's one of his best performances for sure.
Yes, I definitely agree. And Ty Sheridan is also terrific in this movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you also get fantastic performances from Laughlin, I think. That's how you pronounce it.
Yeah,
he's also terrific. And
beats me.
He's also terrific, and there are also some fantastic performances by Reese Witherspoon and Sam Shepard.
I forgot to mention her.
Rest in peace.
Really good too. Yeah, Reese Witherspoon's actually really good.
Yeah, and another fantastic performance from Sam Shepard. Rest in peace, by the way.
Yeah.
The musical score was fantastic. It's beautifully shot, well edited, well paced, and this is one of those movies where I almost teared up watching it.
Yeah, very emotional movie, that's for sure.
Yeah, I rarely cry during movies. Like, I rarely cry, but this was one of those times where I nearly teared up.
Hey, I think it's no shame in crying and anything, especially movies, because movies can be fucking emotional.
Yeah.
At times, fuck it. I fucking cried at the end of fucking Logan. I'll tell you that right now. I fucking cried at the end of that movie. Not like cried, but like I was tearing up. I was getting teary-eyed.
Yeah. I love this movie. Another Matthew McConaughey film, which I'll get to later on. I also teared up. I also almost teared up in that. I'll get to that later. Finishing up with Mud. If you haven't seen Mud, I highly recommend it. It's one of the most emotional, mesmerizing, and exhilarating experiences you will ever see, and it features one of the very best performances from Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Richard Roeper said it best. Like, Richard Roeper couldn't have said it best when he said that Matthew McConaughey is like the next Paul Newman.
He's one of my favorite actors working today, honestly.
Same here. And that's why Maude is my second favorite Matthew McConaughey film.
Nice. All right, Andrew, what is your number 2?
All right. My number 2, he's not in it that much, but, I mean, he's in it enough. Fuck it. It's Tropic Thunder.
Oh, my God. That movie is hilarious.
I absolutely love this fucking movie. Like I said, he's not in it that much, but fuck it, I love this movie. But I fucking love this movie so much. I'll get to my number 1 when we get to it, but I'm absolutely shocked this wasn't my number 1. But for some reason, I love the first one more. But this movie is fucking hilarious. He plays Matthew McConaughey plays an agent to, I believe, Ben Stiller. Who it's about there's the 3 main characters are Ben Stiller, Jack Black, and Robert Downey Jr. And Ben Stiller is kind of like the guy who he was kind of like a big star, and now he's not, so he's trying to revitalize his career. And Robert Downey Jr. is like. I think he won like 8 or 9 Oscars in the movie, or his character had won 8 or 9 Oscars in the movie. And Jack Black is just the comedy guy. He does like the Paul Blart type of movies, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, they're filming a movie, and what happens is they want to make it as realistic as possible. But the thing is, there are like natives on there, and to call them. And they basically get stuck in this situation that very hard to get out of, and it's just hilarious. It's so over the top, like, because this would never happen, but it's like so over the top, but like it works for this type of movie. And Matthew McConaughey, like I said, he's not in it that much, but he's great characters in it, and it's great performance. Like Tom Cruise is amazing in it.
Yeah, I love Tom Cruise in that movie.
Yeah, and
he was amazing.
Actually, McConaughey wasn't originally supposed to get that role. Owen Wilson was supposed to get that role, but ended up going to McConaughey, and I think it worked out well. It's honestly one of my favorite movies of the year.
Oh, and yeah, I would agree 100%.
Definitely, 100%.
And had it not been for Heath Ledger as the Joker, if let's say The Dark Knight didn't come out that year, came out a different year, I think Robert Downey Jr. should have won.
Yeah, I agree, actually. Yes.
But, I think the rightful person deserved in Heath Ledger. And I don't, like I said, he's not in it that much. He's in it enough where, he's not in it, not as much like Wolf of Wall Street, where, I'll be like, oh, well, he's not in it that much. Like, I can't put it on the list. I think he's in it enough where I could say he's not in it that much in Dazed and Confused. But with both movies, he was in it enough where I'm like, fuck it, I'll put it on my list. And, this movie was amazing. I absolutely love it. It's a movie I could watch time and time again and still fucking laugh my ass off, have a fucking great time watching it. And that's what I look forward to movies.
I forgot to mention that on my honorable mentions, but like Wolf of Wall Street, the reason why it's not on my list is because I don't really think he's in it that much, but I can see why it's on Andrew's list. Hilarious movie. It's really funny. Really funny movie.
You know what? Let me change that. That's also in my honorable mentions.
Yeah.
And I watch movies to be entertained, to keep my mind off of things, and this is a movie that keeps me entertained anytime I watch it. It's a classic. I'll say that. It's an absolute classic.
Yeah.
A comic masterpiece, I would say.
Yeah, it is a masterpiece. And like, I'm not the biggest fan of Ben Stiller, but like, this is like he directs it.
One of his best, easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Better than that Zoolander shit.
Oh God, Zoolander 2 is God.
Oh my God! Oh my God! That was one of the hardest experiences I've had watching a film. I mean, just plus that transgender joke with Benedict Cumberbatch, just like Oh my God, that was horrible.
And it was it was amazing because this was the year that Downey Jr. just came back because the Iron Man came out this year
with
and Tropic Thunder.
Yeah,
and he got nominated for it, and I just think that this was it was great.
Mm-hmm.
And Tropic Thunder was not my number 2. Surprisingly, not my number 1. As for the longest, actually up until today, it was my number 1. But I'll get to my number 1 when I get to it.
Okay. So that was our number 2. Now we're on to number 1. We're going to be talking about our favorite Matthew McConaughey film. My favorite is a film Andrew and Nick had on their list. My favorite Matthew McConaughey film is Interstellar.
Predictable as fuck. Just kidding. It's a great movie.
Interstellar is one of those few films where the more times I watch it, the more I love it. And the more I catch things that I haven't seen, the first time I saw it. It is really, this movie is great where I did my top 5 Christopher Nolan podcast. This movie did not make the list. And that says a lot because I really love this movie, which really says a lot about.
That's a testament to Nolan.
Yeah.
Like even with the Tarantino stuff, I love Jackie Brown. I love Kill Bill. But, he's so great. There's so many movies I love by him that, like, those movies couldn't make my list. Same thing with Nolan.
Yeah. But, this is Matthew McConaughey delivers such a great performance. And the scene that always gets to me, I know Andrew was talking about the scene where he's leaving, where he's about to leave for the mission. The scene that gets to me is where he's watching the scenes, he's watching the years of messages that his kids had left. Yeah, and that was
that was amazing.
And the way Nolan incorporated Hans Zimmer's music in that scene was just like,
it's like haunting at times, bro. Like that music.
But
it's so amazing.
Score. Definitely. Visually, it's awesome. And it's a film that it's 2 hours and 50 minutes long, and not once was I bored. I just wanted to see what was going to happen, next. And terrific performances from everyone in its cast. And like Nick Canino said, this is a very divisive. It's Christopher Nolan's most divisive movie. It's a movie that people seem to be very split on, and Nolan's filmography. People who love it, people who have it on the worst of the year list, which is bullshit. But and other people who just say it's a mixed bag. To me, it was one of the best movies of 2014, and it was like unlike anything I've ever seen. And this is a very, very, very unpopular opinion. And you know what? Fuck it, I'll say it anyway. I think Interstellar is a better space film than Gravity is.
Yeah, no, fuck Gravity, man. That is one of the most overrated fucking movies I ever seen in my fucking life. Fuck, I can't stand Sandra Bullock. She is so fucking overrated as fuck. Like, The Blind Side, The Blind Side was fine. Her performances was good, but is it Oscar-worthy? Fuck no. I'm sorry to all the fucking Sandra Bullock fucking lovers out there, but, I'm just not a fan of her. I'm just not. I mean, she was in the fucking shit show that was fucking Minions.
She was actually in the movie A Time to Kill, the film I mentioned before, and she was actually good in that. Yeah, she plays the lawyer, like one of the student lawyers, and she's actually good. But no, but I think Interstellar, it is a very long movie, but like I said, you don't feel its runtime. And visually, it's amazing. The soundtrack from Hans Zimmer, as always. I mean, saying that Hans Zimmer's score is good is like, yeah, no shit. I mean, do you expect anything less? No, not according to...
It's like saying I dislike fucking Sandra Bullock, apparently.
Yeah, not according to Grace Randolph, who says that Hans Zimmer never produced a memorable score.
All right, hold on a second. Don't
you serious?
Don't you fucking...
Yeah, she said that. She said Hans Zimmer has never produced a memorable score.
All right, listen here.
Fuck Grace Randolph, man.
Hold on, let me just say something about that fucking ugly fucking cunt. All right. Like, now, like I said, normally I don't get mad at fucking other people's opinions. But literally, who the fuck decided to fucking give her fucking critic card? Because she is the dumbest fucking bitch I've ever fucking seen on YouTube.
Yeah, the fact that she has 650,000 subscribers, and I don't understand why.
She is the most sexist fucking bitch I've ever seen in my fucking life.
And actually,
I swear to fucking Christ.
No, Andrew's right too, because she is a very sexist woman, like a feminazi at its finest. I
guarantee.
She's not a feminist. She's a feminazi. Very sexist.
I can guarantee you this right fucking now. If I fucking saw her, not only will I call her a fucking cunt to her fucking face, but if I told her straight up I didn't like the Ghostbusters remake, she would call me sexist because it's an all-female fucking cast. Well, let me tell you something. I don't hate it because, yes, the characters were fucking shit. But the characters weren't shit because they were girls. The characters were shit because they were fucking shit. The writing was fucking shit. Fucking, like, that movie should have never been made. Like, fuck that movie.
It should have never. And even though I didn't hate the film as much as some people did, I could see why some people would hate it because the script is absolutely atrocious. I blame it highly on the script. And all the high blame is Sony.
Yeah. Honestly, for real, that is one of the the Ghostbusters remake is one of the most. You never hear fucking sexism towards men, but this is one of the most sexist movies I've ever seen in my life towards a guy.
Well, Bad Moms was also a very sexist movie.
I did not
treat men in that film.
Yeah, I did not see Bad Moms, but Ghostbusters.
It's horrible.
Yeah, Ghostbusters. Every fucking guy character is either dumb as shit or a fucking asshole. Well, look at me right here. I'm not a fucking asshole. Well, I can be at times, but when I'm fucking nice, I'm fucking nice. I'm genuinely one of the nice guys in the world, and I'm not fucking dumb. I'm fucking smart as fuck. Fuck all y'all.
But Interstellar is my favorite Matthew McConaughey film. From my favorite filmmaker, and yeah, I love Interstellar so much. So that's why it's my favorite Matthew McConaughey film. All right, Nick Canino, what is your favorite Matthew McConaughey film?
I mean, I won't deny that Interstellar is a wonderful film. I will say that. But one more thing, just one more thing before we get to my number one. I mean, what Grace Randolph has done nowadays is just nothing but a joke. It's just this quote I had popped in my head. It's from Tropic Thunder, but yeah, where Robert Downey Jr.'s character says, "Everyone knows you never go full retard."
Yeah.
Yeah, and her reviews are just beyond that.
Honestly, I get so angry every time I see a picture of that ugly fucking bitch. Like seriously, her teeth fucking piss me off. Her fucking face pisses me off. Her nose is all fucked up. I mean, I'm sorry that I'm being a fucking asshole. Like, who am I to fucking judge? But fuck her.
And believe me, I'm a nice guy in real life. Believe me. And
yes, you are, Nick.
But it's just like sometimes there are things that just piss me off, like Grace Randolph, Rex Reed, and Armand White and some other critics.
Lights, Camera, Jackson.
More like Lights, Camera, Jackass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just fuck all these critics. I mean, just.
Hey.
What?
I know I gotta say something, but it has nothing to do with the fucking podcast. So.
All right,
I'll say it at the end or something. I don't know. Well, I'll fucking whatever.
Yeah, we'll save that at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll say it at the end because
my number one favorite Matthew McConaughey film is the movie you guys mentioned. And it's I would argue it's my favorite performance from Matthew McConaughey. It's Dallas Buyers Club.
It is a truly amazing film.
Oh yeah, definitely.
like Mud, this was one of those films where I almost teared up. I almost teared up like 3 times watching this. I mean, because of what this character went through with the AIDS. I mean, it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary, like when you get AIDS, and oh my God, I mean, I was this close to tearing up, like this close. I mean, this is one of the most emotional experiences I've had watching a film.
Yeah, definitely.
And Matthew McConaughey absolutely deserved that Oscar. I know I wanted Leonardo DiCaprio a bit, but you know what? McConaughey deserved it without a question.
I can't argue that he didn't deserve it because he was, wow, brilliant in his performance.
Yeah, he was. I mean, it was a tight race between like DiCaprio and McConaughey. McConaughey won the award. I think he deserved it because I think, in my opinion, this is his best performance.
Oh, easily, yeah, I would agree easily.
Yeah, Jared Leto is also fantastic in this movie, and he also deserved that Oscar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He also deserved it. This, and like McConaughey, this is like my favorite performance from Jared Leto. I mean, both of them. It's just talking about this movie. It's just I'm just like tearing up a bit. Just. I mean, I rarely tear up during films, but this was one of the closest I've ever been. Plus, the story was fantastic and it was very interesting and realistic since this was based on a true story. The script is well written, it's well directed. I mentioned the acting by Matthew McConaughey and Jared Leto. They're both terrific. Jennifer Garner is in this movie.
Yeah.
The score was fantastic. The cinematography it's beautifully shot. It's one of the most beautifully shot films I've ever seen. Plus, it's well edited. It's well paced. There are some funny moments in it. I will admit that, and as well as some emotional moments. Like as I said before, this is one of those. I don't want to sound repetitive again by saying it over and over and over again, but it's true. This is one of those movies where I nearly teared up like 3 times watching it. I mean, it's true. I mean, having AIDS, having like HIV and AIDS, it's scary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like a scene that almost got me is I'm not going to spoil it, but something happens to the Jared Leto character, and how McConaughey's character reacts to it.
Oh.
Yeah, just.
Oh my God.
It was a powerful scene.
It was. Sorry. Overall, if you haven't seen Dallas Buyers Club, I highly recommend it. It's one of the most emotional experiences I've had watching a film, and it's also one of the most powerful films I've ever seen. 12 Years a Slave it's also a very powerful movie, and it was my favorite movie of 2013. But Dallas Buyers Club, I would say, is also very powerful too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an emotional, powerful, mesmerizing, and riveting experience that was my favorite performance from Matthew McConaughey and Jared Leto, and it's a movie that everybody should see, and that's why I vote Dallas Buyers Club as my favorite Matthew McConaughey film of all time.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, really, really great film. All right.
It is a great film.
All right, Andrew, what is your favorite Matthew McConaughey film?
All right, before I say my number one, there's a part where he's at one of those meetings that I just love. He just gets angry and he goes, fuck all y'all, and just leaves.
Yeah.
I just thought that was hilarious. But anyway, my number one, like I said, it was Tropic Thunder for the longest time. And then I saw this movie recently for the first time, and I really ended up loving it. And honestly, the more I thought about it, the more I loved it. And then I thought about it today, and I go, fuck, like, this is my favorite McConaughey film, and that is a movie you both previously mentioned, and that is Mud.
Nice.
Yeah. McConaughey's character is I really do adore his character in this movie because he's not good person. But you know what? He fucking tries his best to be. And you know what? The kid played by Tyler Sheridan.
Ty Sheridan, he was terrific.
I just love his performance in this movie, and I just love the relationship between Mud, played by McConaughey, and Tyler Sheridan's character. And I just it's a coming of age movie, really, about Tyler Sheridan's character, and I just love seeing the progression of it throughout the whole film. The performances are top notch. The Jeff Nichols directing it is amazing. It's my favorite film by his, and I really do like Loving by him, and I really do like Midnight
Special.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Those are both really good films, but you know, this is also a very good. It's probably my favorite McConaughey performance.
I can see why for sure. I mean, he was
totally understandable.
Honestly, and this movie just blew me away. Honestly, you guys said, the ending, what happens to McConaughey, I was just in shock, and it was amazing.
Oh yeah,
because there's a one that really hit me, or just a moment. Ty Sheridan's character goes, "Thank you," or no, I believe McConaughey's character goes, "You're a good person," and Ty Sheridan's character goes, "So are you," and he goes, "No, I'm not really." But just seeing after that what he does for this kid, yes, he was a bad person, but I believe that in his heart, McConaughey's character, the character of Mud, was a good person.
Yeah.
And, he just did one bad thing. And, shit happens, Yes, there's no justifying what he did was right. But, I think at the core of it, he was a really good person. And that's why I really like his character. It's just so compelling. And the relationship between him and Sam Shepard's character was also really good.
Uh-huh.
Because I thought it was, like I said, I'm not going to spoil it, but when the thing happens, and because he does something to piss some people off, which is why he ended up in jail and he's on the run, or why he's a fugitive. And when the climax happens all at the end, because he's trying to leave.
Yeah.
And just seeing what Sam Shepard's character does in that moment, it's great. I just thought it was really cool. And, I really, even though he was a little bit younger, and like I said, I watched it the other day. I watched it, I think I watched it last Wednesday, actually. And I really, really, connected with the character, or Ty Sheridan's character, because, I just felt for him. And felt like, you know what, I like the characters best where, I feel like I could put myself in their shoes and just be them. And I felt like I kind of, part of me was Ty Sheridan, with, not necessarily with his parents, but, with, because he does befriend a girl. And, I just, on those particular instances, I kind of, that's where I connected to him. But, I just really like Ty Sheridan's character. And I really love the relationship between him and Bud. Because it's truly an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And like I said, it really surprised me, today, how much, when I thought about it, how much I truly love this movie. It is truly amazing. I think everybody should go see this movie. I
agree.
And like you said, I really didn't know much about what it's about, and I didn't really know what to suspect, and it completely blew me away.
Yeah. All right, so that's our favorite Matthew McConaughey films. Now we're going to talk about our least favorite.
Boy.
There was a time where I wasn't a big fan of Matthew McConaughey because he did a lot of chick flicks, and to me, this is the worst one he's done. My least favorite is Failure to Launch. Failure to Launch is with him and Sarah Jessica Parker. And this movie's stupid. I wouldn't go as far as saying it's one of the worst films one of the worst films ever made. I wouldn't say that. But it's so cliched, it's generic, and it's predictable as hell. Also, it tries to be funny and it doesn't really work. Matthew McConaughey, basically, he's a 20-year-old something who still lives with his parents, and Sarah Jessica Parker is trying to get him to, be more mature, be more of an adult, and yeah, the movie sucks. There's really not much to be said about it because honestly, it's a chick flick. I'll be honest, romance films, they're my least favorite genre. Why? Because a lot of them feel like they're the same thing. They are generic, they're cheesy. This is one of them. So honestly, it didn't work for me. I thought I don't even remember that much. I don't remember if they had good chemistry or not. I'm not a big fan of Sarah Jessica Parker either. So I mean,
Yeah.
the film
I'm not either.
I'm not a fan of her either.
Yeah, the film is bad, but would I say it's like one of the worst films in cinema? No, I wouldn't say that. It's just stupid. It's just a dumb movie. So I haven't seen all the chick flicks Matthew McConaughey's been in, because I know he's been in a lot, but the ones I have seen, this is the one that I like the least. So that's why Failure to Launch is my worst Matthew McConaughey film. So Nick Canino, what's your worst film from Matthew McConaughey?
Well, yours looks like a masterpiece compared to mine.
Damn, what is it?
Oh my god. Oh my god. It is a romance film, and that McConaughey was in it. Oh my god. This was the only Matthew McConaughey film I gave a 0 out of 5 stars to.
Damn.
Ooh. I'm excited to know what it is.
It came out in 2008, and it was my number 5 worst film of that year. It's Fool's Gold.
Oh, I actually haven't seen it. I just wanted to make it dramatic.
Jesus Christ. This film was so awful.
I think I did see that too. That was pretty bad.
Oh my god. It tries to be like, it's one of those films that it doesn't even know if it wants to be a romance film or an adventure film. Like it tries to be both of those in the same way, but it's just with poorly developed characters, an awful story, terrible script, terrible direction, and terrible acting from everybody involved, and their characters are just imbeciles and like idiots and jackasses. Like, what's the point? And I mentioned this was the only Matthew McConaughey film I gave a 0 out of 5 to, and he was not enough to save this movie.
Damn.
I mean, his performance
Imagine.
was, but his character, it's the same problem I had with like Charlie Day's character in Fist Fight. It's like the performance is decent, but the character is just an idiot. And also Kate Hudson. This is when Kate Hudson was at an all-time low, and oh my god, this is one of her worst performances.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, and I have a long history with this actor. He's very overrated in my opinion. If people like him, good. I have seen some of his stand-up routines, and I will admit he's pretty funny. But it's just in movies, he's really, really awful, and that's why I find him overrated. Kevin Hart. Oh
He's
my
all
god.
right.
Oh my god. He's the villain in this movie, and oh my god, is he awful. I mean, just oh my god, just this movie was so confusing with its script and its direction and that story that I couldn't even tell what the hell was going on. The music's awful, the cinematography was terrible, the editing's a jumbled mess, the pacing sluggish as hell, as cliches of the buttocks. And oh my god, I mentioned that Kevin Hart was the villain in this film. That was easily one of the worst things I had ever seen, and it's just the characters are even poorly developed as well. I mean, this is some of the most unlikable asshat characters I had ever seen in a motion picture. 'Wow. I mean, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I mean, from a film that has like a 11% of Rotten Tomatoes and a 29 on Metacritic. I mean, that is saying something to how awful this movie is.
Damn.
God, I hated this film, and believe me, Matthew McConaughey could be a really good actor, but it's just.
I think he froze.
Okay.
I think I might have seen it, but when he mentioned Kevin Hart was the villain, I'm like, shit, I don't think I have. There's a lot of his movies back then looked like the fucking same, so it's very easy to confuse one with the other. So, but I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, I feel you.
But I mean, I feel like it's easy to forgive Matthew McConaughey because he's done so many good movies that it's like whatever.
Yeah, I feel you.
They all have like missteps, Everyone's gonna have a misstep once in a while.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
Even Hugh Jackman, he was in Chappie in movie 43, and
X-Men Origins Wolverine,
and Pan, but we learned to forgive and forget.
Yeah.
All right, he's back.
Yeah, there was some technical issues. I do apologize with that. So what I was trying to say is that I do like Matthew McConaughey as an actor. I mean, he could be a really good actor, but it's just when he's starring in those chick flick films, it's just like doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just failure to launch. It is a bad movie. It is a really bad film. But Fool's Gold, oh my goodness, I mean, God, stupid. Really, really pathetic. Pathetic is the best word to describe this film. I hated this film so much. Fool's Gold is easily the worst Matthew McConaughey film I had ever seen.
All right, Andrew, what is your least favorite or worst Matthew McConaughey film?
All right, if I'm gonna be honest with y'all, like Diego, romance isn't my favorite genre. So like all these chick flicks that those two mentioned, the ones that he's been, I haven't seen because I just been avoided them. And when I looked at the fucking list of McConaughey movies I've seen, the one that I've seen isn't the worst. It's actually in my opinion, it's a pretty good film. But it is my worst. I got to talk about a film that is my worst. And that is a movie that is directed by Richard Linklater. It is on Netflix. It is called The Newton Boys.
The Newton Boys. That's from Richard Linklater?
Yes. And what it's about is, to my understanding, it's about a true story. It's a true story about four brothers. It actually has a really good cast. The four brothers are played by McConaughey, Skeet Ulrich, Vincent D'Onofrio, and Ethan Hawke.
Oh, wow.
And they all do good, especially McConaughey and Skeet Ulrich, which, honestly, I think Skeet Ulrich is one of the most underrated actors. Or at least he's one of my most underrated actors, because he was really good in this movie. And he was fantastic at Scream. And he's fantastic in Riverdale. And you really don't. I haven't really seen much of him, and I just really like him. And I think he should have been more. But anyway, it is a very good film. Just the pacing could be off at times, and it kind of did drag a little bit for me. But what it's about is these four brothers. They become bank robbers, but they do it in a way that is very like polite. Like they have two rules: no stealing from women and children, and no killing anybody or no shooting anybody. So like there's actually a scene where they have this one guy tied up and they give him some money, like not too much, but like $100 or whatever to the guy that they fucking tied up and whatnot, And they're very, very, very polite about it, and it's set in the 20s, I believe. And it's in the West. But McConaughey's character, he's the main guy. He's the main brother. He's the oldest. And he's very good. The performances are very good. And it's just that the best parts of it is when they're actually like robbing the banks. When it's the four of them robbing the banks, and then they go to this, and it kind of like drops off after they go to, I want to say Canada, to rob a bank, and it just something goes wrong, and then they have the idea to rob something else that isn't a bank. I'm not going to spoil it. Fuck it. It's an old fucking movie. Fuck it. It's been out for close to 20 years. They go to rob a train. That happens, and there's something that happens on the train. Vincent D'Onofrio's character actually gets shot and is killed, and that's kind of sad. But after that, I mean, like the beginning, the second act, what I'll say is the second act is what the best part about the movie is. The first and third are kind of lacking for me. And but I really like the transformation, not the transformation, but I really like the arc of McConaughey's character and Skeet Ulrich's character. And D'Onofrio and Hawk are really good in the movie. But I wish they could have made me care about all those two a little bit more. Like I really did care about McConaughey's character and Skeet Ulrich's character. And not that I didn't care about Ethan Hawke's character and Vincent D'Onofrio's character. I just wish I would have cared about it more, because once Vincent D'Onofrio's character dies in the movie, it just didn't have that emotional impact that one would hope for.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's not a bad movie. I actually rather enjoyed myself watching it. It was certainly a surprise. But like I said, when looking through it, says this was at the bottom. This is one I enjoyed the least. And I would rate it fairly high. I give it like an 8 out of 10.
Oh wow, yeah, it's really high.
Yeah, that's just me. I don't know if you guys, if anybody knows who John Roca and Matt Nostar, but they do the top 10 show over at Schmoes Know. And they were doing top 10 comeback films. They recently came back, and John Roca recently put McConaughey on it. And he didn't really like the Newton Boys, but Matt Knows really liked it. So, I mean, I haven't really heard about it. That's the reason why I watched it, is because one, it was on Netflix, and two, they told me about it. So I said, fuck it, I'll give it a watch. So I don't know how people feel about it. I don't know what it's rated on Rotten Tomatoes or how critics felt about it. But this is just purely how I felt about it. And it was fun. I enjoyed myself. But like I said, I felt like the first act could have been stronger, and the third act could have very been stronger. And that I could have really cared about the brothers a little bit more. And could have cared about the relationship between them a little bit more. But I really do love the bank robbing scenes. I love the relationship between Skeet Ulrich and Matthew McConaughey's characters in particular.
Yeah. In
their performances. I think they're really good. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. It's like I said, it is my worst by definition of worst, but it's not a bad film in my opinion.
All right.
Okay,
and that's a wrap on this podcast. I want to thank you guys for joining me. I want to thank the few people who watched this podcast live. Next week will be the Best Sequels podcast. We'll be talking about the best sequels, and joining me and Andrew will be Double Nine and Jerome. So that should be fun. And do you guys have anything else to say before I end the podcast?
I guess next week people will find out if I finally watched The Godfather or not. See, what I find funny is that people have been given, because Diego recently admitted he's never seen Back to the Future.
Yeah.
But people don't realize I haven't seen The Godfather. So I find that kind of funny. So who am I to fucking judge that he hasn't seen Back to the Future? Because I haven't seen The Godfather.
Damn. Well, hopefully you do get the chance to see it. Well, you do see it before the next week's podcast. All right, Nick, do you have anything to say before I end the broadcast?
Thank you, Diego, for having me on your podcast once again. And I'm sorry if my room is a bit dark. It's just I had a new fan I mean, a new lamp up there. It's on my drawer, and that's why it's a bit dark. It's a bit small too, but yeah. Thank you, Diego, once again for having me on your podcast, and I can't wait to be in more of those podcasts like in the near future.
All right. Yeah, definitely. I'll see, because like I said, next week the sequel podcast. I have 2 people on that, and I'll have to look at my schedule.
I think if we learned anything from this podcast in particular, it's 3 things. Fuck the casual movie-going audience. Fuck Chandra Bullock. And most certainly, fuck you, Grace Randolph. You fucking bitch.
Yeah. Fuck Grace Randolph, man.
Oh, and I haven't seen
sucks.
The Godfather. And I haven't seen The Godfather, so.
Yeah. Try to watch all. Yeah, it's only 3 movies, so yeah, they're all really good. All right.
I don't know. I don't know. I kind of feel like it would be funny, as big of a movie fan as I am, if I went my whole life without seeing The Godfather. One of the greatest, or said to be one of the greatest movies of all time. I can't say it's one of the greatest because I haven't seen it.
All right. Until next time, guys.
What?
What were you gonna say, Nick?
I was about to say something really quick. But those of you following my channel, I join me and Sammy tomorrow night for the worst and best films of July podcast, and I have a summer podcast coming soon. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, I might do a Comic Blonde review. I'm not quite sure yet if I want to talk about it or not, but most likely I am going to do a review of a Ghost Story. So I mean, for those who give 2 shits about my channel, please be on the lookout for that.
All right. And yep, that's a wrap on our podcast. I will see you guys. Well, we'll be back next week. So until then, stay classy and have a good night.
Peace.